This is CNN.
Voters in 3 more states are playing their part in choosing a president.
George Bush goes fishing, but he also has some serious economic and military problems on his mind.
From CNN, this is The World Today with Andrea Arceneaux and Jonathan Mann at the CNN Center in Atlanta.
Good evening. It's another day of campaigning, voting, and spin control in Campaign USA 92. Charges are being made in 3 states today, a sort of warm-up for next week's Super Tuesday. On that day, there will be primaries or caucuses in 11 states. Today's first results will come from South Carolina. Analysts expect the state to give a boost to President Bush on the Republican race and Bill Clinton on the Democratic side. For the first time in this campaign, the president is on the ballot with both Patrick Buchanan and former Ku Klux Klan leader David Duke. Polling places in South Carolina close at 7 Eastern. CNN will bring you a special report in about an hour, and live updates throughout the evening. Out west, Arizona Democrats vote in a primary today. 41 delegates are up for grabs in the Grand Canyon state. There are also caucuses in Wyoming. Democrats will hold all of their meetings today, while Republicans begin a longer delegate choosing process.
Florida is one of the biggest prizes on Super Tuesday, and Bill Clinton, Paul Tsongas, and Jerry Brown were in Miami today for a forum on health care. Clinton and Tsongas lead the polls in the Sunshine State. Tom Harkin skipped the debate to campaign in Ohio. After the debate, Clinton flew to campaign stops in Illinois, Missouri, and Texas. Tsongas spent most of the campaign day in Florida. Brown also campaigned in Florida, where he will fly to Texas later tonight. While President Bush fights for votes in crucial primaries and caucuses being held today and Tuesday, he is also dealing with a challenge on the international front. CNN's Jill Doherty reports.
President Bush is not saying whether the U.S. will try to stop 2 North Korean cargo ships believed headed for Iran, carrying advanced Scud missiles that could go to Syria and threaten Israel. When asked by reporters during a jog in Pensacola, Florida, whether he has ruled out boarding the ships, the president remained non-committal.
I didn't say that.
But the president's national security advisor, Brent Scowcroft, traveling with Mr. Bush, was more forthcoming, calling the missile shipments dangerous and destabilizing.
Well, we haven't been on board, obviously. Right. That's what it is. But we have an idea.
U.S. officials say the Navy could try to intercept the North Korean ships near the mouth of the Persian Gulf as early as this weekend.
So you understand why we're here, enforcing the United Nations sanctions against Iraq?
Yes.
But unlike boardings carried out to enforce the United Nations embargo against Iraq, U.S. officials disagree about whether this one would be legal. And they say, other than embarrassing the North Koreans, the most that could be done is to divert the ships if their manifests don't match the missile cargo. The president was at the Pensacola Naval Air Station, and national defense was on his mind. The night before, at the National Museum of Naval Aviation, he climbed on a Navy torpedo bomber like the one he flew in World War II. The subject of ballistic missiles came up again as the president cited the need for a missile defense in the wake of Scud attacks during the Gulf War.
We cannot count on deterrence to stop a madman with missiles. We must deploy a defense against ballistic missile attack.
But the non-political quickly turned political as President Bush turned his guns on the Congress, accusing Democrats of trying to start a bidding war to gut U.S. defenses. Then, saying he felt good about the upcoming primaries, Mr. Bush put angling for votes aside and joined a fishing tournament in Pintlala, Alabama, catching 5 bass and hooking himself in the finger. The Bush campaign swing through the South was shortened somewhat, reflecting the balancing act between George Bush the president and George Bush the candidate, a balance the campaign is still having a hard time maintaining. Jill Doherty, CNN, Montgomery, Alabama.
Well, Iraq is sending its top international affairs official to the United Nations to answer charges that it is obstructing disarmament plans. On his way to the UN, Tariq Aziz stopped in Jordan to meet with King Hussein. Aziz reportedly asked him for help in easing international sanctions against Iraq. Aziz is expected to address the UN Security Council on Wednesday amid new charges that Iraq is stopping UN inspectors from destroying its weapons of mass destruction.
When we continue on The World Today, right-wing extremists in South Africa vow to oppose democratic reforms, giving blacks a role in the government. Women in Switzerland celebrate reforms in the workplace. For the first time, they're allowed to work overnight. And ensuring a long life for Spot the dog with what else? Health insurance. Stay with us.
Because some aches and pains don't go away when the lights go out, we've created Tylenol PM. Specially formulated with extra strength Tylenol pain reliever for those aches and pains that can keep you up at night. Plus a gentle ingredient to help you sleep.